Welcome back to my movie review series. Today, I'll be doing the review on the 2021 20th Century Studios movie, and this one is Ron's Gone Wrong. No wonder ever since that 20th Century Fox was acquired by Disney and changed its name to 20th Century Studios. This is the first time that 20th Century Studios has done the animated movie that was not produced by Blue Sky Studios ever since they were shut down in 2021. The movie was premiered on October 15, 2021. The movie is airing on HBO Family, Freeform, FX Movie Channel, originally streamed on HBO Max, and streaming on Disney+, Apple TV, and Amazon Prime Video. Tech giant Bubble unveils their latest creation, the Bee-Bot, created by Bubble's CEO Mark Weidel with the intent to make a robot buddy that is designed to help make friends via algorithm. In the town of Nonsuch, California, middle schooler Barney Pudowski, whose mother passed away, is the only kid in his class who does not have a Bee-Bot. His former childhood friends, Savannah Meads, Rich Belcher, Noah, and Ava have all become absorbed by their individual Bee-Bots. On Barney's birthday, his father, Graham, and his grandmother, Donka, come to realize that he does not have any friends. They hastily go to a Bubble store, but it closes for the day, leading them to buy a slightly damaged one from the store's delivery driver. Barney receives the Bee-Bot as his late birthday gift, but upon activating it, he quickly learns that it is defective and glitchy. Not wanting to upset his father, Barney decides to take it back to the Bubble store to get it fixed, but ends up running into Rich and his friends, who taunt and try to humiliate Barney. The Bee-Bot begins to fight back as his safety functions have been disabled, with him and Barney happily running off. However, Rich calls the police and they, along with Graham and Donka, are taken to the Bubble store so that the Bee-Bot can be recycled. Not wanting to see him go, Barney secretly rescues him and names him Ron, after the first few characters of his model number. When Barney and Ron's actions are reported, Mark is happy to see Ron go against his programming, while his fellow executive Andrew Morris views it as bad publicity, believing Ron must be destroyed for the issue to be resolved. Will Barney and Ron be able to become strong friends while both possibly gaining new ones, as well as avoiding any further attention from Bubble? The story is very well written, as while it does have a formulaic plot, the way it's executed is very well done, as it manages to have a very light-hearted and fun tone, have quite a bit of hearty and charm, some decent action, and some very solid and hilarious humor. And also, it does make a few choices I wasn't expecting that are pretty neat, particularly with the ending, and it has a very solid and very relevant message about how people are addicted to social media and can get too attached, and become more concerned with making digital friends as opposed to real ones. But at the same time, it doesn't say it's all bad, as it does mention the positives of it, and the big resolution at the end is a compromise that's really great, as opposed to just getting rid of all the Bee-Bots altogether, which is really clever. The movie manages to have a great amount of heart and charm put into it, and it does result in some pretty charming and heartfelt moments, such as the growing friendship between Barney and Ron, which then leads to Barney making friends with some of the other kids, and of course, a very strong and clever ending. The movie also has an incredible sense of humor, which, even though there are a few groaner moments that try to appeal to the hip and cool crowd, the vast majority of the jokes really do hit their marks, such as the witty banter and dialogue between the characters, the snarky comebacks and remarks, the very funny shenanigans Ron and to an extent Barney get into, the gags and slapstick, and the occasional adult and dark joke. The movie also has a few well-done action scenes that can be pretty fun and exciting, such as Ron beating up Rich and his lackeys, the Bee-Bot riot in the school playground, the Bubble employees chasing down Barney and Ron, and the climax at Bubble HQ. The animation is pretty well crafted and does have a nice look to it. The characters all have pretty good designs and some pretty fluid and lively movements. The backgrounds and setting are pretty well crafted and detailed, and there are some pretty solid effects. The characters Barney and Ron are both very likable protagonists, as they can both be pretty quirky and awkward, but they also have a very solid dynamic that only grows further and further as the story progresses, and it's all thanks to their loyalty to each other and willingness to do anything to help each other. Most of the supporting characters are also likable, but aren't as strong or interesting as the main characters, such as Barney's dad Graham, and grandmother Dunca, the helpful Bubble CEO Mark, the popular girl Savannah, and the prankster Rich, who did start off very annoying but got more likable as the movie went on. However, there are a few lackluster ones, such as Noah and Ava, who were former friends of Barney and do wind up becoming his friends again by the end. But the biggest problem with them is they're not in the movie long enough to leave an impression. Andrew isn't really that interesting as a villain, as he's basically meant to be the typical big bad executive who goes against the original intention of Mark's creation, and profits off of them. Yeah, he's meant to be an allegory for greedy tech executives, but that's pretty much it. The voice acting is pretty solid and does result in some great performances like Jack Dylan Grazer as Barney, Zach Galifianakis as Ron, Ed Helms as Graham, Olivia Colman as Donka, Kylie Cantrell as Savannah, Ricardo Hurtado as Rich, Justice Smith as Mark, Rob Delaney as Andrew, and many more. The music by Henry Jackman is very well composed, and does really manage to capture the heartfelt and charming tone of the movie. Verdict: 9 out of 10. This is a really charming and fun movie that contains a very strong and relevant moral, and is definitely worth checking out. Like O said, ever since the 20th Century Fox was acquired by Disney and changed its name to 20th Century Studios, this is the first time that 20th Century Studios has done the animated film that was not produced by Blue Sky Studios ever since they were shut down. And I also can't wait to see what Locksmith has in store for the future.